Some black people are finding an issue with Ralph Lauren's latest collection of Oak Bluff and saying that it's basically pushing black elitism. Now, I'm gonna save my commentary to the end, so y'all make sure to stick around for that. I'm gonna go ahead and review some videos to kind of get an idea of what everybody is mad about.
You're not the target audience for this. It wasn't meant for you, and that's okay. Why is black people being shown in a positive light such a problem for you? We didn't all grow up stealing. In fact, if I'd ever thought about stealing, my mom would probably put me 6 feet under. It's not one band, one sound. We are not a monolith, and we all grew up with different experiences. Not everything is out of a Tyler Perry struggle movie. The same people that have a problem with this are the same people in school talking about, look at that nigga reading. Why does he talk so white? You're so articulate. Are you trying to be white? Just for simply wanting to do well in school. This collection does an excellent job in showcasing that we have diverse styles, diverse opinions within the black community. We started dandyism, we can dress preppy, we can do great tailoring. This collection is out of your budget and that's why you're upset. That's a totally different conversation to have. But in this day and age where we have brands like American Eagle pushing eugenics with Sydney Sweeney, it's even more important to be able to have this type of representation as a part of American culture. And having a major fashion brand like Ralph Lauren doing this is giving it exactly the amount of visibility that it needs to get. Before you guys get on here with your thought pieces, actually think about people that live outside of your bubble. You're not the target audience.
Oak Bluffs is home.
I was gonna say that.
Sorry.
Ralph Lauren just dropped a collection both inspired by and based on black wealth. And the best part is, it's not performative, so let's tap in. I'm gonna give a quick breakdown, but I highly recommend that you watch that campaign video. It's 20 minutes long, but it's very well worth it, trust me. Just last year, Morehouse graduate James Jeter became the first black creative director at Ralph Lauren, and he ain't waste no time. He's already been spearheading the Morehouse and Spelman collaborations for years, and now we got this Oak Bluffs collections, which is fire, by the way. If you ain't know, Oak Bluffs is a historic black vacation spot on Martha's Vineyard. It's one of the few spots where wealthy black families were welcomed for generations. It represents a level of black excellence that the mainstream media just never shows. That's reflected in the clothing too. We're talking linen suits, double-breasted blazers, seersucker trousers, cable knit sweaters, and more. I love to see a brand as peak as Ralph Lauren embrace a more nuanced version of Americana. One that specifically includes black heritage, not just your average Ivy League preppy school bullshit. Now I'm dead serious. Y'all better go watch that campaign video. But anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments.
I do not want a black all-American story when it comes to Polo Ralph Lauren, because that is not how we and people who look like me have engaged with Polo Ralph Lauren. It's never been about some elite bourgeoisie shit. We stole that shit.
We did not steal Ralph Lauren polo. You might have, the people around you might have, and you are better off saying that, you know what I mean, we spent our last dimes on trying to get Ralph Lauren, especially during the Yandro era. You know, everybody wasn't stealing out of Ralph Lauren. As a matter of fact, if you lived in like Georgia, I don't know where this man's from, but if you in Georgia, most of the polo stores are on the white side of Georgia. You're not going over there to steal, buddy. You're not going over there to steal. Ralph Lauren has always been high fashion. It's always been expensive. Always. It's never not been, it came into the game expensive as fuck, right? So I don't think people are focused on the ticket the ticket price of these things, right? They're more focused on the historical fact of Oak Bluff. They're more focused on the fact that black people were given this space to be creatives, to be themselves, things like that, right? That's what the point was. That was the point, right? And I even agree with him on one of his videos. He was saying that Young Dro should have a collab with them. I agree. I agree with that. But that should not, but we stole that shit should not be a talking point in this particular video. And that's just how I feel, bro. It kind of makes us look bad. It's kind of anti-black. That's very anti-black.
So let me get this straight. Y'all mad at Ralph Lauren for portraying black people in a positive light, looking like educated black men, showing black dandyism over the years of black men going to historical black colleges and being elite black men. Because you and your little dirtball ass friends used to steal polos from Macy's. That's what you want. That's what you want black people to be portrayed as. You and your little dirtball ass friends that used to run around stealing polos from Macy's. Man, y'all gotta stop, man. Something gotta give, bro. Y'all gotta let this poor shit go, bro. My whole life as a black man, I grew up never seeing black boys portrayed in a positive light. Every single movie, every single music video, every single piece of art that was pushed to us is to portray us in a poorest fashion possible. So we can look violent, so we can look like nonsensical, like we lack depth. Like black people is just a monolith. This is the reason that immigrants come to this country and think this of us, because they never portrayed us in. These immigrants come from countries full of violence, abusers, and corruption. But they think that they're better than black Americans because of the way we're portrayed in the media, in fashion, in different spaces. And y'all mad now. We've been saying this all our life, that we need to portray ourselves in a different light. And now you upset. And it's not all of you. I know a lot of y'all got some sense. But to that one colorful do-rag, that dude, he just pissed me off. Why is it so cool to be poor to y'all? We need black representation in these places. I never seen myself with some of these jobs as an engineer, a fashion designer, an architect. I never saw myself as any of that because I never seen black men in these places. The movies that I saw, they was in the streets.
All right, he made some great points. And as he was talking, I started to think about Prince of Bel-Air and how Carlton was not the cool one, not the guy that struggled to get girls. You know, he didn't really date like the it girls, and it was more so Will Smith character playing the cool guy from the hood that came up and had this like style and fashion, funky fashion that he had. And he was always dating the best of the best, Nia Long, Tyra Banks, all the hottest women of Hollywood during the 90s. He was dating them on the show as a love interest, and it just made me think about the conditioning of what it looked like to get that type of woman. And a lot of young dudes were inspired, like, you know, you gotta be the cool guy, you gotta look like this, you gotta dress like this. You seen Will Smith with his hat tipped back, so it kind of made me think about that. But going back to this Ralph Lauren collection, somebody said this and it really stuck with me. They said the same people that's complaining about Ralph Lauren's Oak Bluff collection being anti-black and elitism are the same people who probably think that it's not cool to be an engineer and a doctor, and they push their children to play sports and football. And I've talked about this before, and how in the black community all we see is rappers and athletes, that we're always having to be performative, that we're always having to be the star player and trying to make it to the NFL and like trying to make it to the NBA. And there's a 1% chance your child is gonna make it. I'm not saying that, I mean, people make it to those arenas, but not, you know how many people don't make it? Like, the percentage is very low. Regardless if your child is playing sports, the goal is to get into college and have your college paid for, not to be this big NFL, NBA star. And people, it hurts a lot of people's feelings to say that, like, your child probably not gonna make it, but your child can make it in other things. I don't see how wealth and wealthy black people who live in Oak Bluff is anti-black, because then what is black? Is black poor? Is black poverty? Is black ghetto? Is black all those negative stereotypes that other races have used against us? Is black crime? Is being black a criminal? Like, what is it? Because when you say things like, that's not us, we this, like, first of all, I'm gonna say it, we are not a monolith. We're not a monolith. And as somebody who, I'll share my own story. I grew up in a neighborhood all the way up until 7th grade that was like the hood, and the girls did not like me. I didn't think that they were jealous of me, but it was something about my light that now that I'm old enough to know better, it was always about my light, how I spoke, how confident I was when I spoke well. And I was made fun of. I was called white girl growing up. I was called, oh, is your parents mixed? Is your mama white? Is your daddy white? Like, why you talk like that? Were you adopted by white people? And I'm like, talk like what? And I remember trying to fit in with these group of girls that were, you know, speaking Ebonics. I'm not gonna lie, like they did not have the best vernacular when they spoke. And so I tried to do it and be like, yeah, cause you know, and try to like sound like that. And it just was not me. And I used to hate talking. And it's so crazy because that's literally what I do for a living now. And it's gotten me so far. I used to hate how I talked back then because I didn't feel like I fit in with those Black people. But then when we end up moving to a more suburban area, that was normal. Like, no, there was no like, oh, if anything, the kids in the suburban area tried to be hood. It was weird. Like the kids in the suburban area wanted to be hood, wanted to be hip, wanted to act like they were from the hood or had some type of connection to the hood because they felt like they were also trying to prove their Blackness to other Black kids at the school, or trying to fit into a stereotype to relate to a lot of the Black examples that we had. But we're not a monolith. There are people who go to Howard, there's people who go to Princeton that are Black and they dress, or they live in Oak Bluff and they dress a certain way, or they dress like the Carlton, but they're not as quote unquote corny as Carlton. And those Black people are, it's okay to highlight them. It sounds like jealousy to me because it's like, you're so stuck in your bubble, you're so stuck in your ways, you don't want to see other Black people elevate Black elitism to trying to be white. And that's the problem. Me speaking well and articulating my words is not me trying to be right. It's me trying to actually make proper sentences. For example, I'm from the country, okay? I'm from the South. I have a Southern Belle accent that comes out at times, and it comes out a lot, okay? I have my accent. We all have accents depending on where we live, right? But there is a way to articulate yourself, or trying to come off ignorant to fit in. It's not being Black. I think that this is a classism issue. I don't think this is a Black issue, and we need to stop trying to equal that white is wealth and Black is poor. Like, why do we do that to ourselves? We constantly speak spells over ourselves as if we are down here and they're up here, and we always need to be down here to fit in and be Black. The closest thing that I feel like we got a chance to see growing up was the Huxtables. Like, the mom was a lawyer, the father was a doctor, they lived in a 2-story big home. We didn't get to really see that. You know, most of the Black TV shows, they were like in poverty, and they were popular, they were funny, they were entertaining, but it did not highlight Black excellence. It showed our families and struggle and sticking together. And it makes me think, what happened to our culture and why they purposely push certain agendas in poor communities, that you have to act a certain way to reach success. Because back, I would say in the 50s, it was Black men used to dress up and like dress to impress. And we want to always say, well, it's because we were oppressed and we couldn't be ourselves. We had to try to fit into society. Or were we exercising professionalism? Why is everything so against the white man, the system, when really y'all have not created y'all's own lane that has exemplified Black excellence without the gun violence? And the rap culture is the most popular, influential culture over the Black youth, over the youth in general to this day. The reason why rap music was being censored and pushed off certain radios is because other communities were like, my children can't listen to this, because they know the brainwashing that it was doing. Meanwhile, in our culture, we just kept bumping the music and being influenced, influencing the gun violence, influencing the sexuality, the being promiscuous, you know, in our community. Like, we don't have no problems with a sexy red. We don't have no problem with a Sukiana. But as soon as we talk about Black elitism, is it because you feel like you can never get there? Why does it bother you? Why does it bother certain Black people that you feel like wealth is white? Because there are Black people who reach wealth and enjoy luxurious things. And I think that's why Black people try to overdo it and be flashy with it, because we're always trying to look for validation. I think a lot of black people, and I'm trying not to speak in absolutes, but I think a lot of black people were flashy because we're constantly trying to seek validation and outdo each other, that we made it and we're doing better than one another to be accepted by other communities. Also, when he spoke about how other immigrants are coming to America and looking down on black people, yeah, that war is going on right now with Africans and Caribbeans versus black Americans, and how they see themselves differently, or they warn their children not to date black African Americans or black Americans. I'm just gonna say black Americans, because if you move here from Africa, or you're descendant, or your parents, or you're first generation, you know, you are African American. Meanwhile, my people been here. Okay? Some of them ain't never even been bought over. They been here. So I'm black American. A lot of y'all owe Raven Simone an apology, by the way. There's nothing wrong with black elitism, because dang, do y'all not think that white people are not poor? Like, there are white people that are poor and don't have money. So is it, if you're a poor white man or a poor white woman, are you not white? Like, that isn't, like, being white does not equal always elitism, because there are a lot of poor white people as well. I think we just need to expand in our community, that we're not a monolith. There are black people who are the Carltons, or are those who live in Oak Bluff, or inspired to live in Oak Bluff, or go to Martha Vineyard. And I didn't even know about Martha's Vineyard until that movie or TV show on Netflix. Y'all name it below, but the girl name was Keisha, and she was from the hood, and the guy has, you know, he comes from a very nice black family, mother, father, still together. And then you got I love that show because it shows so many different diversities in the black community and how black people live. But anyway, I didn't even know about a Martha's Vineyard until that TV show came out, and I was like, wow. And then I think a lot of black people were looking into it like, well, how much does it cost to stay out there? And it's like $23,000 to $70,000 just to stay out there for a week. And we're like, ooh, it's some black people that's really out there like living like that. I love that. I love that. We just want to see some different. We're diverse, okay? We have one side that are this, and then not everybody from the hood is like that as well. I will say, I don't like how they're doing everyone from the hood, because there are some kids that get out the hood and make it out the hood, but there are a lot of people who are influenced by the hood and influenced by that crab in the barrel mentality. Have that crab in the barrel mentality where, you know, I'm from the hood, gotta stay from the hood, gotta go back to the hood, gotta represent the hood. No. Cause I don't go back to that old neighborhood. I don't have nothing to show nobody. I don't relate to y'all. And another thing, I feel like we're not exposed enough, because there is a big difference. When I lived in a more hood-like area, there was a McDonald's and Taco Bell and whatever fast food chain on every corner. But when we moved to the suburbs, I definitely noticed that there were salad bars on every corner, Chick-fil-A's on every corner. It was just different. The neighborhoods had more healthier options than in the hood. When you're stuck in this bubble and you're not exposed to different things, you start thinking that all black people are like this, and then you meet black people who are not like that and be like, oh, they trying to act white. Like, why you act like that? No, why you act like that? Why are you acting like that? And why are you not curious to expand yourself outside of this small bubble as a black person in America? Let's raise the bar for ourselves. Let's stop thinking that black people don't deserve wealth. We deserve wealth. We deserve to see the world. We deserve to travel. We deserve education. And we're going to continue to break these stigmas, and we're going to continue to grow within our families. I can't make changes for everybody else. I can only get on this camera and talk about it. But in me, my family, my kids, yeah, we're doing something different. We're going to the best of the best and the best opportunities, the best schools, dressing appropriately, not caring about what other people, I gotta try to fit in, all these other things. This is important. Yes, my kids are gonna play sports, but that's not gonna be their overall thing of they're gonna make it in life. You can make it in life with your brain. You're smart enough to make it in life with your brain, okay? And your intelligence and your wisdom and how you speak well and your communication skills and your social skills. That's what's gonna bring you far in life. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about the Ralph Lauren collection. Do you feel like it's elitism? Where did we get this from, that men who dress like this or women who dress like this is anti-black? How do y'all feel about this thing? And I'll meet y'all in the comment section below, but that's all I have to say about it. And until next time, I'm out. Bye.